Shave the beard. What is up, you guys? It is your boy, Daddy Goose, or Chris of Black Game. If you guys are from Chris of Black Game, decided to come on over and check out my solo music reaction channel. Thank you guys so much for checking out that channel today. Or if you guys are on the web, you decided to click on this. I'm going to go on the other side of the curtain. You're not going to see me, but I want you guys to hear this high note. So I'm going to be right back. If you guys are on the web, and you decided to click on this. If that blew out the mic, I'm going to be pissed. Or if you guys are a part of the 3,000... Probably blowing out my mic. I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm just so excited. I cannot believe we made it to 3,000 subscribers. Holy shit. Guys, you don't understand. The last place, remember the beginning of the year I moved? Well, that place I was from probably had less than 3,000 people living there. The place I'm living now definitely has less than 3,000 people living in it now. That's fucking crazy to me that 3,000 people are subscribed to this channel. Guys, we have built such a fucking amazing community, all right? I love this community. I love the journey we've been on. We've built friendships. It has been fucking immaculate, and I cannot wait to do today's episode, because today, if you haven't told by the title, it is the Q&A episode / song recap. And I know you might be asking yourself, what's the song recap part? We're going to go over that later, but I will tell you what it is about. A couple songs on the channel that didn't initially get a 90 review. I've been listening to those songs for a while now, and I decided to give them a re-rank in the 90s. So stay tuned to see what songs are going to be the 90s. But without further ado, let's move on to today's Q&A. Okay, the first question is, what got you into metal music? Well, I should probably say that first. Now, before I actually get onto the first Q&A question, I do want to say this. If you guys didn't get a chance to ask any Q&A questions, make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Anything you guys have to ask, and I'll make sure I reply to you guys' comments down below. Get those questions in while you can. But the first question is, what got you into metal music? Now, this is crazy, because my metal journey only started about, let's say, 3 or 4 years ago now. And I mean, like, seriously started. Now, obviously, with the channel, it has helped me a lot to discover a bunch of new music. Because when I say I started my journey 3-4 years ago, I pretty much found 2 bands and just listened to them. So I didn't really have a large, knowing of bands and stuff like that. But it did start when I was all the way back in college. Now, when I lived in college, I shared a room with someone, or not a room, I shared a house with someone, and it was their house. And for me, because I knew it was their house, I didn't really leave my bedroom a whole lot unless I was going to school or going somewhere else. Other than that, I really did just stay in my room the whole time, just because it kind of felt awkward walking around someone else's house. And in that time, obviously, I had a lot of spare time. And to break the silence, I started listening to music. And this is what I would call probably my official gateway to metal band. I knew about this band, but I never really took it upon myself to really listen to them. I knew their music, like I'd heard their songs before, but I never really went out and listened to them. Except for randomly one day, I decided to listen to System of a Down. And that is when I kind of got entered into this new realm of music. And the crazy part is, before that, I didn't really have what I would call a music identity. At this point, I might have listened to a few rap songs, I guess, but other than that, it was still mainly like radio music or, just music my parents had listened to. So I never really chose a genre to listen to myself. It was just music that was kind of, the power of suggestion kind of thrown, in my way. So I never really picked a genre to like. And all of a sudden, the System of a Down came on, and I couldn't stop listening to it. I listened to so much System of a Down. And then I got into the next band that kind of, like I said, I wouldn't consider these metal bands by all means. They're more rock or hard rock. But it's kind of the gateway of what led me into it. And then I got myself into Five Finger Death Punch, which also was a little bit heavier in my opinion at the time than System of a Down. And then it kind of steamrolled from there. But after college, I bought a place and I moved in with my buddy, and he really, really likes metal. It was at that point when I kind of mentioned I was getting into this heavier rock stuff, and it turns out he loves rock and he loves metal. So now he kind of started introducing me to metal. He introduced me to Architects, which I would consider my first metalcore band. Loved them. And it's hilarious because I think I've said this before on the channel, but this is back when I wasn't into heavy stuff yet. So Architects was like the peak. And I remember they came out with Animals. And I literally was like, how the fuck do you make a song better than this? This is the best song ever. Obviously now I have found a lot of songs that are better than that. Animals is still a great song, but it's definitely nowhere near the stuff I've heard now. Nothing against Architects. I kind of just was a little mean there. Not intentional. But then after he showed me that, we realized we both really liked metal, and I wanted to discover more, and then we started YouTube searching a little bit. That's how I found Imminence, and the first song I found from them was Infectious, and then it kind of went on from there. So that's kind of the journey on how I started it, and then a couple years later, down the road, I decided I wanted to make content, and I really love making content, and I also figured I don't know where to start with this new metal stuff. Like, I only know 3 bands, and I don't want to waste my time looking at bad bands per se, so I wanted to start a YouTube channel on that, and it has been fucking outstanding. The amount of bands you guys have showed me is absolutely crazy, but we'll talk about that in some future questions. But I guess we should probably move on to the next one. Okay, the next question on the complete not metal side of things, somebody asked if I was in a zombie apocalyptic world, what would be the 5 items I'm bringing along with me? What a fucking wild question, and I absolutely love it. Now, I had a lot of time to think about this question. It's 5 items, guys. You don't know how serious this question is. And, you know, every kid ever, till probably even their 20s, you know, when you're probably in your 20s, you're probably, you know, maybe a couple wobbly pops or a couple adult sodies in when you have the conversation again. But everyone has had this conversation. What items are you bringing? This is the most important question you can ask, because if zombies come, we're fucked. So my top 5 items, here we go. Boxing gloves, fucking frozen grapefruits, a boomerang, a carabiner, and probably a B-2 stealth bomber. Okay, next question we have. This is another one of those questions where there's a lot riding on this one. So the question is, if I had a movie about myself, what would the end credit song be? This is a fucking really hard question to answer, because I feel like the second I say this answer, I have to commit to it no matter what. Like, there's no turnsies, backsies, all right? When I say this, I got to commit to it. I can't be like, oh, I forgot about this, but I changed it. No, I got to 100% go in on this. So I never really thought about it in a movie term, but this is like a side little fun fact about me, I guess. But it kind of does lead into why I chose this for my song. Now, I've done a lot of fighting in my day. I started fighting when I was probably in grade 5, and I don't mean street fights. I mean like proper kickboxing, Muay Thai, stand-up fighting. Done it pretty much since grade 5 or 6. And since then, I've dibble-dabbled in jiu-jitsu, which is really, really fun. I've done a couple of MMA rounds, also very, very fun. I just love the sport of fighting, okay? And the walkout song I would choose is Short Change Hero by The Heavy. I don't know. I love that song. I love how it's kind of like the calm before the storm, opposed to like everyone chooses these hard-ass songs that make you, they try to intimidate you with their song, which just doesn't work, by the way, so stop trying. But the calm before the storm is just so cool, man. And it does have some very good lyrics to also be in an end movie credit scene, which ironically just happens to work really, really well. And every time to this day when that song gets played, I literally get goosebumps like on my arms, the whole ordeal, just picturing what it would be like to come out to that. And even just picturing, and when you're listening to it in the end credit, the song gives me goosebumps when I picture it that way. I can't even listen to the song normally, because when that song comes on, I start imaging things, and it's literally crazy. So I'd have to choose Short Change Hero by The Heavy. And if you haven't heard it, go check it out. But let's move on to the next question. Okay, this is a quick question. How old am I? If you guys like to take a guess now in three, two, one. You guys are right. I am 26. I actually turned 27 next month. If you guys are really, really curious, my birthday is August 13th. So I turned 27 in just over a month, I guess. I don't know, but I turned 27 soon. So let's just call it I'm 27 years old. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this is a really, really fun one up next. The question is, what is it about metal music that annoys you, or like that annoys you that other people say? Like, what gets you frustrated, the things people say about metal? Does that make sense? Did I word that correctly? I don't know. But I have a couple of these. One of them, it's not really frustrating or annoying or any of that. It's actually more of just a funny thing. But it's kind of when people are like, oh, what kind of music do you listen to? You know, you're really meeting someone or you're just talking to someone, like if you're customer service, I don't know. But someone asks you what kind of music you listen to, and you say, oh, I listen to like metal music. And this is the funniest thing ever. They hit you with the, oh, me too. And you're like, oh, what do you listen to? And they're like, oh, like you listen to like AC/DC? And it's like, no, a little heavier. And like, oh, like, what do you mean? Like Guns N' Roses or Kiss? Or it's like, no, a little heavier than that. And they're like, oh, like Metallica. And it's like, no, heavier. Like, they just don't understand what you mean by metal. And then they're just like, oh, well, like, what's a song you listen to? And then you hit them with the old, like, a band called Imminence, and the song's called Heaven Shall Burn. And then you try to stare at them like you're just like this innocent guy that just likes metal music. But you listen to a song called Heaven Shall Burn, and immediately you look like a demon summoning Satanist. Very, very funny. I love reactions that you get from that. And they're always like, oh, okay. And it's like, we're not on the same page at all with music of what we're talking about right now. So that's very funny. One thing, though, I feel like that gets discredited from metal music is there's a couple things I feel like that get really underappreciated with metal that people tend to hate, and I guess this would be like the more annoying side of things, and that would be like when people say, oh, all of it sounds the same, it's just screaming into the mic, it's all junk, you can't understand what they're saying, every song's just yelling. That is annoying, because for one, there's so many different variants of screaming, it's crazy, and if you could do any of those variants even a little bit well, do you know how fucking talented that is? Do you see me screaming? No. You know why? Can't do it. It's so hard. And I think people just don't understand how talented that is. And then to go along and say like, oh, every song sounds the same is also crap, in my opinion. Because you listen to any radio pop song. Now, I'm not saying pop songs sound the same as a literal term. You know, they all have like different sounds and stuff. But when I say they're all the same, it's like every pop song ever made is all about one catchy chorus. The lyrics half the time don't even make sense. It's just like, what sounds fun to say? Like, and then that's a pop song. And then they repeat that chorus 18 million times because it's catchy. And the rest of the lyrics are shit. And they really bank on this really fun, catchy chorus. And when I say good chorus, it's like I said, it's not even a good chorus. It's just catchy words to say. Does that make sense? That's what I mean when they're all the same. Like, it's literally just copy and paste what's going to be pleasant to the, the overall world. I'm forgetting, like, your audience, I guess. Like, just what's catchy. That, to me, is the exact same. Then you go to metal on the other side, and yeah, sure, there's a couple metal songs with choruses. But a lot of the times, their songs are a full-ass storyline. Sometimes they doesn't even have a chorus. Sometimes they do, and I still love a good chorus, don't get me wrong. But like, their songs are all so different. They actually tell a proper story. They're not repeating lines all the time. And it's like A to B, just amazing, amazing art. It really is. Like, that's why metal music is so good. And a lot of people don't understand that. Now you combine the two and you put screaming in with these storylines. And I feel like that screaming really brings out, like, it really it breaks through those walls, right? And it drives that feeling, that emotion to get that storyline out. And the punchlines are just so good. And that is a big misunderstanding, in my opinion, to people that don't listen to metal. And I feel like that's they're really missing out. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can tell me in the comments down below. But those are, I'd say, the couple things that really get misunderstood that I guess are annoying. It's more so just give them a chance. Like, I understand if you're like a hardcore country guy. Like, yeah, I don't expect you to like death metal. And even me, like, I still don't like super, super heavy music. But I feel like you gotta give them a chance. Because even though I don't listen to heavy, heavy metal, I can still find the appreciation to it. And I could still listen to it. So I think people out there that just immediately put them off because of the genre, do better. Give yourself a try. Let's hop on the next question, though, before I rant for a little too long. Like, people that don't listen to metal music are fucking losers! Okay, that might have been a little aggressive. I'm just joking. I was playing off the rant on the last. I'm obviously... I'm kidding, guys. I did come in a little fucking heavy there. I'm not gonna lie. That was harder than I was trying to be there. Next question. What other genres do you listen to, or what are your top other favorites? This one goes all over the map, honestly. My next, I guess I'm not going to consider rock as like another genre, because they're siblings to metal. You know, they're the same but different. I obviously love rock. Like 2000s rock especially, that's my jam. So I'm not going to consider that as my second favorite, but I'll consider my second favorite, I would say probably rap. Just hip-hop, you know, been listening to a lot. Recently, you guys are going to understand I love the 2000s genre. Maybe it's because I'm a 90s kid, so the 2000s I was old enough to listen to music. Maybe that's why I like it so much. I don't know. But I've been listening to a metric fuckload of 50 Cent. And let me tell you, haven't listened to him ever in my 27 years. Never listened to him once until like maybe a month ago. And I cannot stop listening to him. So hip-hop, rap, R&B, it's all really, really good. On top of that, though, I'm a little bit nervous to say this, because this is a metal, mainly metal, with a little bit of rap reaction channel, so I'm a little bit nervous to tell you guys, but I'm going to say it. For the last couple years, probably the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, I've been listening to a little bit of country. We're listening to a little bit of that country twang. No, not that twangy. Just standard country. And here's the reason. I know my parents used to listen to country when I was a kid, so maybe it brings it back to that. Maybe just a familiar sound. But the main reason I've been listening to country is, this is the only way I can describe it. Please don't hate me for listening to country, please. The only way I can describe it is it's an ear-cleansing palette genre. It's just clean, very simple, easygoing music. You can sing it in the car, super easy. And then I'm not putting myself in a position where I'm listening to fucking death metal, screaming, metalcore all of the time, or rock. It's like I'll listen to that for like a couple months, and then I'll have like a week of country. I'll clear the palette, and then I want to go back to metal immediately. So I honestly don't even mind country. I can't even believe I listen to country. I used to fucking hate, I used to despise it 5 years ago. Fuck country. Now, bring me country. I mean, it is crazy. And let me tell you, I will never do country reactions on the channel. Let's get that straight. But I do not mind country once in a while. It kind of goes back to that open-minded, give it a chance kind of thing. And I gave it a chance, and it's not too bad. But moving on to the next question that kind of goes with this question, that's why there's not a cut here, is what genre do I dislike? Now, there's only a couple genres I cannot stand. There's one genre completely I don't like, and that would be dubstep or like really hard, ravey, electric music. Now, by saying that, on the other hand, there's bands like Encore and Electric Callboy that they have hardstyle, I believe it's called. Turns out I don't mind me a little bit of hardstyle, but it does help that it is mixed in with metal music, and maybe that's why I don't think I've heard a pure hardstyle song, but metal with hardstyle, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually pretty good. But straight dubstep, straight rave music, electric music, it's just not my thing. Never could get into it. Even in middle school, when like Skrillex and deadmau 5 came out, it was not my thing. I just couldn't do it. The other genre I just don't like is mumble rap. That to me feels like the brain rot of music. It's like, why am I even here? Yeah. It's like, what the fuck am I listening to? Like, just say the words, man. Come on, you're almost there. You got the lyricist part down. Just fucking talk normal. Can't stand it. Don't like mumble rap. I apologize if you liked either of the two genres I just listened to, but I would recommend you trying out some different genres. Respectfully, of course. You can stick to those genres, but maybe try some other genres. But yeah, can't do it. Let's move on to the next question before I get hate comments. Okay, next question. Bands I grew up on or bands that I loved. Now, it kind of goes back to the very first question, how I kind of mentioned I didn't really have a music identity in the sense of I never picked songs or genres or bands that I liked. I just listened to songs that were there. So a lot of these songs are pretty much, you could reword this question to what did your parents listen to? Because that's pretty much what it comes down to. Radio and parents. And a lot of these bands really did follow me to now. I still listen to them all the time. But we're talking about like bands like Nickelback. And one thing about Nickelback is there's two types of people in this world. People that love Nickelback and people that lie about not liking them. Everybody loves Nickelback. And I'm sorry, you can't convince me other... Look, I'm not saying any of Nickelback's songs are a fucking 90, alright? But I would say every single song, they have like 80 goddamn songs. I would say all of them are at least a 75 up. That might be a little generous, but like that's what I'm saying. There's not one actually bad Nickelback song. They are the most consistent, slightly better than mid-tier band ever. They got some fucking bangers, all right? Like I said, there's no 90s, but all of them are like the 75s to like the 80s. Maybe even an 85 on a rare one. They don't put out a bad song, okay? So everyone loves Nickelback, and I still listen to them this day. Other bands, that's why I have Nickelback Sour, by the way. If you guys didn't know that, that's a little fun fact. When I lived with my roommate, every Saturday, 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whenever the fuck you wake up, I'm put on the iPod, onto the dock, and I played Nickelback all day, every single Saturday, literally all day. I had every song on every album ever. I'd play Nickelback all day. Nickelback Saturdays. Anyways, other bands I listened growing up on. You got bands like Creed, which are amazing. Daughtry, absolute bangers. I will say this. I think he did get a little worse later on. I haven't listened to his newer stuff, so I don't know if he's come back around. But vintage Daughtry is outstanding. The guy's vocals are so good. Avril Lavigne, don't even come at me. She is so good. Listen to her this day. Listen to her quite frequently. Absolute bangers. Just kind of bands like that, And there's like a lot of one-off songs. Like you got like Torn by Natalie, who I think, like dun 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 dun, I need you, whatever that song's called. Like I have anything from back then I've probably listened to and I probably listen to now. Like those are the kind of songs I grew up with, okay? And those are the kind of songs that are sticking around, and I'm loving every little bit of them. I think that's pretty much all the songs. Like I said, just one-hit wonders. I don't even know if they're one-hit wonders, but like they're more popular songs, I guess. Couldn't name any. Like I said, Torn by Natalie. She's got a whole bunch of other ones. It's like rain on your wedding day. Ironic. That's what it's called. Like songs like that. You guys understand the point. Before I try to think of more songs, and I would be sitting here for hours just thinking of one hits that I listen to. We'll be here forever. So let's move on to the next question. All right, before we go to the next question, I guess I should mention a couple more other bands, because I did mention I listen to country. And now you guys are probably like, well, what country bands do you listen to? This goes back to what I grew up on. And this is the kind of country that I still listen to now. Clint Black, Tim McGraw, Garth Brooks, I think are your big ones. And that's also a lot of music I grew up on. And then, of course, you got Cher and, all those classic guys. That's what I listen to. Anyways, next question. Very, very excited about this one. It is, what are my favorite bands I've discovered through the channel? Now, for those of you who have known my channel for quite some time, you already know Imminence is my favorite band right now, and it has been for a long time. But that is not what this question is, because that's a band I already knew about before the channel. Same with Landmarks, not going to be on this list because it's a band I found before the channel. Probably my second favorite band. Favorite bands I've discovered through you guys and you guys only. Guys, there's been some crazy ones. I got 4 bands for you. No particular order in the top 3, but I do have an honorable mention. This one might come to a surprise as you guys. And honorable mention number 4 is going to be Sleep Token. Now, The reason why it's falling at that number 4 slot is there are about 3 songs, sometimes 4, but let's call it 3. And that would be Ascensionism, Vor, and Alkaline. Sometimes the 4th song would be Bloodsport. Those 3 songs are SSSS tier. So there's nothing against Sleep Token. But here's the thing. I only really listen to those 3 songs, sometimes Bloodsport. But I only listen to those 3 songs. That's why it's falling in that 4 slot. Because the next 3 bands I'm going to say, I just listened to way more songs by that band. Now, I don't think they're as good as some of the Sleep Token songs I listen to, but it's just more quantity, and they're still very, very good. Now, no particular order, the next couple bands, I would say Encore is up there. Really, really strong female lead band. Great, like they introduced me to hardstyle a little bit. Well, Electric Callboy did that first, but Encore, really, really good. They just sprinkle it in a little bit. Great, great band, great hooks, great choruses, great breakdowns, great singers. The whole work, Encore, has been great. And on top of Encore, never even heard of the band name or thumbnails or anything before you guys. So that was a big, big shout out there. The other band I would have to say, well, the 2 other bands, Ice 9 Kills is going to be on that list. You guys have seen me wear a couple shirts by them. And I barely have any merch from any shirt or any bands. And I have 2 Ice 9 Kills shirts. I fucking love that band. And a little side story about them. I knew the song, or not the song, I knew the band title, Ice 9 Kills. Like, I'd heard the name before, but never listened to them. And I always figured they were going to be way too fucking heavy for me. This is way back when I was listening to, like, Architect still. So I never even clicked on an Ice 9 Kills song. Until you guys re-brought them up and you said, listen to Fast Way the Girl's Heart is Through a Ribcage and that other one, Hip to Be Scared. Those are my first 2 songs ever by them. And I fell in love with them immediately. And before doing that reaction, I was actually nervous to do them because I knew the band name, and which means if I know the band name, they're probably a very popular band. So I was really scared to not like it. Turns out, absolutely amazing. They have so many fucking good songs, and I listen to all of them still. They are incredible. Another band, what are we at? Is this the 4th one? This is the 4th one. I would say the other band would be Falling in Reverse. Now, I believe I'd heard that band title before the channel, but I, once again, never checked them out. Never knew what they were about. And it's just another one of those bands that turned out to be absolutely insane. He's so talented. It's rap, and not even rap, like fast, really, really good rap with metal, with breakdowns, with choruses, with amazing features, with slow songs, fast songs. He is very, very talented. And without you guys, I may have never even checked out Falling in Reverse. And now there's a bunch of my song or his songs on my playlist. So without you guys, those are my top 4 bands I would have probably never discovered without you guys. So thank you guys so much. Like I said, on top of that, with the community and everything, now that you guys are understanding the music and genres, that like you guys have just producing me so many more bangers. Like the fact you guys even thought about sending me those bands is fucking amazing, and I thank you guys so much. But let's move on to the next one. Before we move on, I kind of want to add to this. This was not a question on here. I'm just going to add it in. I just went over my top favorite bands. Now, if you guys are OGs, can you guys think of my 2 least favorite bands on the channel that I haven't heard of before you guys? Now, I'll give you a big hint. I've only ever had 2 songs on the channel to get under a 50 on the channel. Can you guys name them? I'll give you a couple seconds. That was probably a couple seconds. The first song ever to get under a 50 on the channel is a band called Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum, and I believe the song was called The Donkey-Headed Adversary Opens the Discussion to Humanity, I believe is what the song was called. Once again, don't know why I'm wearing these. There's no audio. I don't need them on at all. I'm just wearing them. But that would be the first band I'm just not a fan of. We actually haven't done a reaction to them since because they were so bad. The other one, I'm actually debating on coming back to them. I feel like I picked 2 really bad songs by them, but yes, they also got under a 50, and that was Nightwish. I forget what it was, like something Sun, I think is the song. I don't know, it was an opera song. I guess you can throw that into the genres I don't like. Opera would be on there. Yeah, that just wasn't it, and it got under a 50. If you guys want to check that out, I guess you feel free. I do kind of maybe want to come back to Nightwish because there's such hype behind that band, and apparently I picked just 2 really bad songs, and they have 2 different singers, and apparently I picked the wrong singer. I've been tempted to come back, so if you guys want me to check out Nightwish again, leave a comment down below. But let's actually move on to the next question now. Okay, the next question we have is, what are your favorite band names and slash song names? Now, band name is actually pretty tough because band names isn't typically what draws me in. It's song titles that draws me in. On top of that, I try to pick bands that you guys would know or that have been on the channel. So I didn't look through hip-hop bands or pop bands or rap groups or, you know, rock bands that just haven't been on the channel or vice versa. So I kind of try to pick stuff that have been on the channel, or I'm hoping you guys at least know of them. So I'm probably missing a metric boatload of both band names and song titles. But this is kind of what I quickly kind of grabbed out. For band names, no particular order. We're going with Falling in Reverse. I think is a really, really cool name. It just, Falling in Reverse. It's like, what are those sentences where it's like, one's like, what's the word I'm looking for? This sentence is incorrect. It's one of those kind of sentences. That's what Falling in Reverse kind of reminds me of. I'm missing the word. But either way, Falling in Reverse is a really cool concept. Like, how does one fall in reverse? That's why I like it. It's a really cool name. Another one, it's actually, I think our first song ever on the channel was Fit for a King. And I don't think we actually came back to Fit for a King. I would love to bring them back on the channel. From what I remember, they were very, very good. And it's a popular band from what I know. I haven't heard much of them. I'd love to check them out. So leave some comments down for Fit for a King, maybe. But Fit for a King, amazing, amazing name. Another one, I don't know why I like it. I just do like it. They were on the channel once. Unfortunately, one of their songs got copyrighted, so I just never brought them back on the channel. But Motionless in White is a really, really cool one. I'm not sure what about it I like. Just sounds really, really cool. And then the other one, how many was that? Falling in Reverse, this one is, I haven't had this song or this band on the channel, and I've only ever listened to one song by them. So another band I wouldn't mind checking out on the channel. But the band's name is Crystal Lake. That band sounds really cool. It sounds metal as fuck. I don't even know how. With a band name like Crystal Lake, I don't know what genre that would really be, but it just sounds so, so hard. So with that, I gotta go with Crystal Lake. Song names, however, once again, I probably missed a boatload of song names. I'm going to be honest, I forgot all of them, so let me do a quick check on what those are. No particular order. I mentioned it earlier, and I think it's due to just the pure shock value you get from people's reactions, and that's got to be Heaven Shall Burn. I don't know. That song title is just so hard, it's so heavy, and it's just like, telling that song to people, like I said, the reactions you get are just hilarious. I know a big fan favorite for me and a couple of my friends is Defeating Gravity. It kind of goes with the Falling in Reverse thing. Like, Defeating Gravity is just a really cool concept of a song title. Like, how does one defeat gravity? So really, really cool song title there. Cellar Door, I feel like, is a sleeper pick on this list. It's another one of those things, just sounds metal. Like, it just sounds hard. Like, Cellar Door. I don't know. It's just like... And the Cellar Door is just underratedly cool in itself. So that's a really good one. And then my favorite one of all time. The other three are there too, but this one is like for sure. I didn't miss any. This is my favorite of all time. There's no other song title that could beat this one. And it's a band called The Color Morale, and I believe the album's from his Divine Desolate or something like that. But the song title is called Photographic Memory. You might be thinking, what's so cool about that? Well, it's not photo as in P-H-O-T-O. It's faux as in F-A-U-X, I believe is how you spell it, which means like it's a lie or it's false. So photographic memory is like your brain and is lying to you. I don't know how you even come up with a song title that clever, But it is so, so cool. And of course, it plays with the rest of the song. It's an amazing idea. That song title is amazing. Also, go check out that whole album. Every song on there is an absolute banger. Oh my god, it's so good. Bonus question is a question that wasn't asked. I just feel like I want to give it to you guys, and it might, give you guys a couple albums to go listen to. I'm gonna give you my top 3 albums, I think. Um, Maybe not ever, but just some albums I'd really highly recommend you check out. And that would be Atreyu In Our Wake, S tier album, and I'm sure their new album coming out. I don't know what the new album's called. I'm gonna assume it's called The Beautiful Life of Dark, I think. That album is also gonna be cracked. Check that one out. I just mentioned it though, The Color Morale, Desolate Divine. Go check that album out. So, so, so good. And then for another album, pretty much anything by Nickelback, pretty much anything by 3 Days Grace, Billy Town. Go check those ones out. But I gotta promote my boys, Imminence, Heaven in Hiding album. Very, very, very good. Same with their new album, but the Heaven in Hiding album, I think, is always going to hold a special place in my heart. The album is fucking cracked, so go check those out. But the moment you guys haven't been waiting for, because it's a bonus part of this episode, I know you guys didn't see it coming, but maybe you guys are excited about it, maybe not. Songs that I've been listening to more and more and more that have got reevaluated into the 90s. Now, when I say this, there's a lot of songs that I have upgraded, of course, but still haven't quite made it into the 90s, which is why I'm not mentioning them. So if your song didn't make it onto the list, don't worry. I still listen to them if I gave them a good rating. They probably got a little better, just maybe not quite cracking into that 90s area. However, before we get into those 90s songs, there is one song I want to bring up to you guys that isn't quite in the 90s, but oh my god, did I fuck up on this song. I don't know if my brain was in another dimension or if I meant to say a different number than I did or what went wrong. But before I say this, I stand by every single initial rating I've ever given on the channel, except for this one song. And a lot of you may have seen that episode. I don't know. But the song we're talking about is Bow Down by I Prevail. I don't know where I was at with this. Like I said, I don't know if my brain fell asleep mid-talk. But I gave the initial song like a 64 or something. Don't quote me on any of these ratings. I don't remember what I initially rated them. I just know that they were all under a 90. I gave I Prevail Bow Down a 60 something. I actually don't have an answer to why I said that. The song is so much better than that. And I'm going to have to look at my phone for some of these ratings. Bow Down, like I said, it's like an 86, maybe an 86 to an 88. It's a very, very good song. I just wanted to clear that up for anyone who ever watched that episode and thought I was an absolute dumbass. I was. Thank you for sticking around after that one, because wow, that rating was way off. Let's go on to the next song. Same band, Self-Destruction. Like I said, I don't remember what my initial ratings on any of these songs were, but we're going to give Self-Destruction a straight up 90, just barely makes into there. Maybe a 91. It's a very, very good song. That breakdown is still SSS tier. It's one of the main reasons why I listen to it. Absolutely amazing. It's also one of the best lyrics I've ever heard. I'm going to forget now, something like, I turned an army into a nation. That line is so cool. I fucking love it. It makes me feel like a badass. That song goes up into the 90s. Next one, Blessed Be by Spirit Box. Probably should have got a 90 right off the bat, but it did not. It's one of those songs, it's slow, and it has that hard-hitting breakdown. When you have a song that's so slow, and it just comes in super hard, it emphasizes literally the entire song. Song is easily a 91 or a 92. Winter by Landmarks, another one of those songs. And I'm going to be honest, the feature in it actually kind of carried in a weird way, even though Flo is amazing. Like I said, Landmarks is my second favorite band. But oh my god, the feature does such a good job. Absolutely nails his part. It's a banger. I never skip it. It's a great song. It's another one of those songs where it has slow parts, heavy parts, breakdowns, great chorus. Love the song. Definitely in the 90s now. Up next is Bore by Sleep Token. It kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I don't listen to many Sleep Token songs, but the ones I do are all insanely cracked, and that is no exception for Vor. Vor is sitting at a 92, probably even a 93 on a good day. It's an amazing song. It's got everything. The topics is a little bit weird, but hey, when you come to this channel, number one rule, no kink shaming. Up next, Alkaline. Now, I used to think Alkaline I thought was a little better than Vor, but now through listening, I think Alkaline is more of a specific scenario time to listen to, and I don't think it's quite as good as Vor. Vor also just has a lot more going for it. Alkaline's still a very, very good song. I'm saying that one at a 90 flat. Up next, I mentioned this band earlier, and it was one of the first songs I've ever heard by them. It was the first song I ever heard by them. The Fastest Way to a Girl's Heart is Through the Ribcage by Ice Nine Kills. I'm surprised I didn't give it a 90 when I listened to it the first time around. Like I said, I used to be a little more harsh with my ratings, but I got to start realizing when it's that much of a banger, I'm going to listen to it that much all of the time. There's a good chance it's a 90s. And once again, I'm probably going to give that one a 93. Very, very good song. And the next song following that, if you guys didn't guess, is Hip to Be Scared. Also another banger. I don't know if I'm more biased to these because it was the first songs I heard by them. But Hip to Be Scared, I used to think was worse than Fastest Way, but after listening to them both for a long time now, I actually think Hip to Be Scared is better, and by that, not by much, I'm gonna give it a 94. This song is crazy to me. Desolation by Imminence. How this didn't get the first 90 on the channel is insane. That first 90 ever on the channel was taken by Heaven Shall Burn, which rightfully so, it was a very, very good song. But with Desolation, here's the crazy thing. That song came out and it was great, but then Heaven Shall Burn came out and it completely overshadowed Desolation, and I couldn't stop listening to Heaven Shall Burn. I went back to Desolation. The song is so good. Sometimes I think it's better than Heaven Shall Burn in some ways, depending on what mood you're in. The song is outstanding. The song is amazing. Really, really glad I decided to go back and listen to it. Song is overshadowed. Please, if you feel the same way about me with this overshadow thing, you have to do yourself a favor and go check it out. The song is sitting at a 96. Super, super good song. Up next is Dethrone. This is one of those songs that, to this day, every time I listen to it, the song gets better and better and better. And this is also one of those definitions of you got to listen to it again to give it a proper rating. I still stand by my Dethrone initial rating as I did with all these ones. But this is really the prime example of it gets better the more you listen to it. Because when I listened to Dethrone, I did not think it was ever going to reach into the 90s. I knew it was a good song, but I didn't think it would reach that high. Let me tell you, the song gets better all of the fucking time. Oh my god, the song is, it's hard. It's super hard. It's super raw. Like, the vocals are harsh, but still very clear. It's a great song. Just the heavy beat, the bass, amazing song. Song is also going to sit at a 96. Let's see. Next one, Ascensionism. Goes back to the banger part with Sleep Token. Said it on the channel before, I'm going to say it again. Ascensionism is probably my favorite song still. Although I don't listen to it quite as much anymore. It does take a specific mood to listen to it now versus I used to listen to it all the time. But Ascensionism is damn near the perfect song. It is so good. It has everything, storyline, ups, downs, harshes, cleans, great beat. It's got almost a rap hip-hop vibe to it sometimes. The song has everything, and it's not jarring in any way. It all flows super, super nice together. It clicks. It's damn near the perfect song. We're moving that song up to a 98. Should have got a 90 initially. Cellar Door is going to come in at a 90. I didn't realize how good it was. The breakdown is probably one of the best on this entire anything I've heard. Not even on this list, just in general, one of the best breakdowns I've heard. Just kind of goes back to a very, very heavy song. Takes a specific mood to listen to it. That's why it kind of sits itself at a 90. Probably could go up to a 91 though, and I wouldn't be mad about it. The other song going up is Creature by Landmarks. And I'm going to say it, I hate the first opening part still. Maybe it's because I don't speak French. I don't know. It also just doesn't fit the rest of the vibe at all. Why is there a French rap at the start of the song? I don't know, but there is. And it's still one of those songs I didn't like pretty much any of it except for the chorus. And I sucked it up and listened to it over and over and over because of how good the chorus was. And over that time, I started to like the rest of the music as well, which obviously for me brought the entire song together. So that's considered about a 91. Sticks. Oh, whoops. We're going to say that for last. On the spoiler! Up next, On the Verge by Throne. Now, this one I kind of debated on giving it a 90 or not, but it turns out it wasn't even on my playlist, and I always found myself going back to it and specifically searching up the song and listening to it anyway, which it means it's a really, really good song. I'm going to put that song at a 93. It's an absolute gym PR song. Amazing, amazing, amazing. The only downfall, a little bit too short, but that's pretty much their whole, every song by Throne is a little bit too short, but On the Verge is definitely one you guys got to listen to. Now for the last song on this list, I saved it for last because it is the only rap song that has made it into the 90s, and that is Sticks and Stones by Joyner Lucas featuring, I don't remember, Conway the Machine? Did I just pull that out of my ass? That might have been it. It might have not been. Don't fact check me on that. But Sticks and Stones by Joyner Lucas, absolutely amazing. Obviously a little bit biased because Joyner Lucas is already one of my favorite rappers, so maybe that's why. I'm not too sure. But oh my god, the song is an absolute chill vibe. I listen to it all the time. Still laugh at kind of how cheesy it is. The Sticks and Stones lines. Also, it's funny that no one else has thought about that line. Very, very funny. But that song is also going to make it into the 90s. I'm going to give that a 93, maybe even a 94. It's a very, very good song. Well, that was the Q&A and song update. Hopefully you guys liked today's episode. Like I said, if you guys have missed any opportunity to leave a Q&A question for me, make sure you drop a question down below in the comment section. I'll make sure I answer those for you guys. Hopefully your songs made it into the 90 plus list. Like I said, I didn't list any songs that have already cracked the 90s. I guess if you guys are interested, songs that made it to the 90s from the channel, I believe we had Star to Prevail, The Kid of Darkness, Heaven Shall Burn, The Black, Red Handed Denial, Paralyze. That's 4. I feel like there's a 5th one I might be missing, but it honestly might just be 4. There might have been another one in there, but those are the 90s on the channel. Obviously, to include those because they were already there. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Should I say thank you 3,000 times for 3,000 subscribers? I'm not going to do it. But it's been amazing. Like I said, the community we have built has been amazing. The friendships we've built has been amazing. I still reply to all your guys' comments. I love building that, that bond between us, and it is fucking outstanding. The song suggestions, the whole 9 yards. I love communicating. I love interacting with you guys. Like I said, it really just comes down to the community we built. It has been phenomenal, and I couldn't be here and I couldn't enjoy this journey as much as I have without you guys, and it has been fantastic. So with that, let's do ourselves a toast. Now, I didn't have any adult wobbly pops or adult sodies, so we're gonna do a nice little shot of milk to celebrate. Hopefully you guys have a drink with you by your side. If not, pause the video and come back. But this is the 3,000. And I can't wait to see where the channel goes from here. Like I said, journey's been amazing. Couldn't do without you guys. Toast. Oh, actually, have a good night, everybody. Daddy Goose out. Oh, so